Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here, and we are back with another video as of today. This one's going to be different, as you guys can kind of see by the background. Here's what we're going to be doing. We are going to be predicting what I think is going to happen here in the NBA playoffs. It's going to be more just a fun video. It's just going to be kind of what I'm thinking, kind of what I'm what I think is going to happen, what I'm predicting, stuff like that. But I am really excited to dive into it. First things first, I did just want to go ahead and say that we are on the road to 7,000 subscribers. So make sure you guys do like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I don't really have a whole lot to really talk about. This is just going to be my true predictions video. So make sure that you guys comment who you guys think is going to win each series down below. I think it'll be kind of fun. So make sure you guys are interactive with it. Make sure you guys do comment. So let's go ahead and dive into it. We'll start with the West, and we'll do the first round of the West. And then we'll switch over to the first round of the East and kind of go back and forth. That's just, I feel like, kind of the easiest way to do it. So I haven't done this yet, so I got to figure out how to, okay, nope, not that. Okay, so you just like click on the teams and then you, okay, got it. So this first matchup here, we do have the Phoenix Suns going against the New Orleans Pelicans. And the New Orleans Pelicans, they have looked pretty good as of lately. Not necessarily from the defensive end of things, and I think that is truly where it is going to hurt them. From the offensive side of things, Brandon Ingram has been an absolute bucket here lately. CJ McCollum has been great. Even Jonas Valanciunas, not as of the last play-in game, but the last couple games of the regular season, he actually played really well, and so I do think he is going to play well against the Suns. I don't know if DeAndre Ayton is really going to take him very seriously, so I think we'll see a little bit of an advantage there. I am going to go Phoenix, but I'm going in 5. Now, the reason that I'm not giving them a full sweep is because I do think, so Brandon Ingram is going to have a hard time. I truly do believe that Brandon Ingram is going to have a hard time. He's probably going to be matched up by Mikal Bridges, who we all know Mikal Bridges is a very, very good basketball player, and especially on the defensive side of the ball, he's definitely one of the best in the league. So it is going to make it very tough for Brandon Ingram to get those buckets, but I do think CJ McCollum and Jonas Valanciunas can pull off one game. I truly think that they can. And so I'm going to be taking them in 5 for sure. Next, we have Dallas and Utah. Now, this series is going to be extremely interesting. The reason being is because, obviously, Luka Doncic is out for at least the first 2 games. Now, that could really put a damper on things here for the Dallas Mavericks. But truthfully, I don't really love this Utah team. I think that Utah is okay, but they've kind of had the same team every year, and I just don't think it's a very good spot for them. I feel like Dallas, despite not having Luka, they're still going to have guys like Spencer Dinwiddie, who has a ton of experience under his belt. They're still going to have a scorer in Jalen Brunson. Other than that, it's not really the best. I will give you that. So I do think that Utah takes the first 2 games. I really do. I think that they take the first 2 games. But I actually have Dallas winning. And I think I'm going to go 7. I think I'm going to take Dallas in 7 because if you look at it, I think Utah steals the first 2 games. I do think after that, Dallas makes a little bit of a run. I think Utah probably steals game 6 or game 5, maybe something along those lines. And I think Dallas does get it done in 7. So that's my prediction for that game. Next, we have the Golden State Warriors and the Denver Nuggets. Unfortunately for Denver, I obviously really like their team, and Jokic is an absolute monster, to say the least. Dude's an absolute stud. But I'm taking Golden State. I'm going to take them in 5, because here's the thing for me. Golden State, they are, how do I want to word this? They're a very well-rounded team, but the problem is the one spot that they lack is that center position. And Denver obviously has a monster center. So it's really going to be mostly just Jokic versus Steph, which is going to be interesting. But I do think Denver is able to get 1 game under their belt, but I think Golden State does end up winning it. Next, we have one of the craziest playoff matchups that I love this matchup. We have Memphis here versus Minnesota. Now, this is going to be just a really fun series to watch. I think there will be a lot of points scored from both sides. And I really like both these teams. I really do. I hate to see either of them go. But here's the thing: is like Memphis, obviously they've played fantastic all year, and they've been a very very good basketball team. But honestly, Minnesota post All-Star break has been really really good too. And if you look at it, they have Karl-Anthony Towns, who's other than the last game that he played, has been really good. And then they had they obviously have D'Angelo Russell. They obviously have Anthony Edwards. They have some really good pieces here for this team. And so I don't think it's going to be as much of a blowout as everybody says. I do think that Memphis wins, but I'm going to give it to them in 6. I really don't. I really do think that Minnesota has a chance to take 1 or 2 games. Now, I know Memphis is great, and I have Memphis, going far. I really do. But I just think that this Minnesota team is a little bit slept on. After the All-Star break, this team has been absolutely fantastic. So I do think that Memphis is great, but I'm going to take them to drop 2 games to Minnesota. So next we have Miami and Atlanta here. Unfortunately, I think this is a very, very tough spot for Atlanta. I think that, I'm just going to say it. Miami in 5. As much as I would love to say that Atlanta really stands a chance, Miami, they are just such a great team on both ends of the floor. They have so many different guys that can pick up on Trae Young, regardless of, height, regardless of really anything. I mean, even Bam Adebayo could get a couple good possessions on Trae Young. So it's going to be very tough. Trae Young's going to have 40 to be able to win a game, and I think he does have a 40-point game or like a high 30-point game and be able to pull out 1 win. So we're going to take Miami in 5. This is another fantastic matchup. I love this matchup so much. We have Philadelphia and Toronto here. Now, I know that this might be one of the hottest takes, but I personally do have Toronto in 7. Now, I know this is crazy. The Philadelphia 76ers, they have a potential MVP candidate. They have James Harden, who's another great player. And they have Tobias Harris, who's very inconsistent, but he is there, and Tyrese Maxey, who's another bucket. I know. But this Toronto team is really like a really good basketball team. I love this Toronto team. They obviously have breakout rookie Scotty Barnes. They obviously have Fred VanVleet, who could have been potential All-Star. You can make the argument for Pascal Siakam, another potential MVP, or not MVP, excuse me. Another potential All-Star. They obviously have Gary Trent Jr., a lights-out shooter, and then OG Anunoby. He's healthy as well. So I think that OG is probably going to match up on James Harden, and it's going to make things very, very tough for James Harden. Joel Embiid is going to score 40 in all of these games, and I'm not joking. When you guys watch my best bets videos, Joel Embiid's going to be in there in a lot of them, especially in this series. But other than that, I just don't think that this team is really a very good matchup. I think Toronto has a fantastic defense. I think it's going to definitely go to 7, and I think it's going to fall one way or the other, so we're taking Toronto there. Next, we have Milwaukee and Chicago. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I love Chicago. Chicago is my team. I am going to Game 4. In Chicago. I'm really excited to go. But they're getting swept. The Bulls with no Lonzo, they have just been absolutely atrocious. We're going to get smacked. I'm not even going to waste my breath on that one. Next, we have Boston and Brooklyn, though. This one is going to be fun. It's going to be a very fun series. I think it's going to be a very good series. But believe it or not, I know a lot of people are on Brooklyn. I know that they are. But I'm actually taking Boston, and I'm taking Boston in 7. Now, the reason that I'm taking Boston here is mostly just for their defense. Now, obviously, Kevin Durant, he can go crazy at any stretch of time. But if you look at all the other positions, Kyrie is going to have a tough matchup with Marcus Smart or Jaylen Brown, whoever they decide to put on there. They also have Jason Tatum, who's another great defender. Now, unfortunately, Boston obviously did lose their center, which is going to be tough, but I don't expect Andre Drummond to average 25 points in the series. I don't think he's going to be that big of an impact, truthfully. I think Andre Drummond will be decent, but the main guys here are Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, And other than that, they're not a very deep team, and this Boston team has all the depth in the world. So I'm going to be taking a shot here with Boston. Flame me if you want, and maybe it'll be wrong, but I really do like Boston a lot this year. So next, we're going back over here to the West. We're going with Phoenix and Dallas. I'm taking Phoenix, and I'm taking them in 5. I know that they did, if this were to play out, they did just beat Utah in 7, but I think it's going to be a longer series here for Utah, or for Dallas. I mean, they are going to be more well-rested, Phoenix is, and I just don't love the matchup for Dallas. I mean, outside of Luka, they really don't have a lot going for them. They don't have a whole lot of depth, and Phoenix is one of the most complete teams in the NBA, so I'm not going to waste too much time on it, but that's what we're going with. So next we have Golden State Warriors versus the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, this one is going to be extremely interesting because this is going to be a true test to see just how good the Memphis Grizzlies are. Obviously, Memphis has Ja Morant. They're a very good team. They showed that during the regular season this year. But Golden State's going to be getting Steph Curry back. And so it is going to be very difficult. Now, who they decide to put on Ja could make things a lot more interesting. If they decide to put Klay Thompson on him the whole game, okay, that could definitely make an impact. But I think that this series is going 7. I really do, with all my heart, think it's going to 7. I think it's going to be very, very exciting to watch. But I'm going to go Memphis. I know 1-2 seed. I know. But it'll switch here in a second, I'm sure. But I'm taking Memphis. Golden State's been kind of banged up all this year, and Memphis has just played like an absolute complete team. And I know Golden State has been really good as well. They obviously have Steph Curry, they have Klay Thompson, they have Draymond Green, they have, Jonathan Kuminga, they have Wiggins. They have a bunch of good pieces on this team, but I just don't know how well it's going to translate to this playoffs team. So if the Golden State Warriors win, I wouldn't be shocked a bit, but I'm taking Memphis in this one in 7. I do think that it does go to 7 regardless. So next we do have the Miami Heat versus the Toronto Raptors here. Now, like I said, these two teams are going to be fantastic defensively. It's going to be a very grit and grind style of game, but I think I'm taking Miami, and I think I'm going to be taking them in 6. Toronto's going to have a very tough, or Philadelphia. I don't really. Whoever goes to this next round is going to lose to Miami, in my opinion. But whoever is here, I think they're going to have a long series. I think it's going to be very tough for them to bounce back and just keep going. So I'm going to be taking Miami here. I think that they're the better team too. I think it's very close, but I do think that Miami is the better team here. Next, we have Milwaukee and Boston. Boston is going to be coming off a huge series versus Brooklyn, or Brooklyn going to be coming off a huge series with Boston. And I'm taking Milwaukee no matter what. I'm going to be taking it in 6 games, though. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I don't think it's going to be a 7-game series. But Milwaukee, we know how great Giannis is. We know how much of an absolute stud he is. We know how great Chris Middleton is in the playoffs. We know how good Drew Holiday is. And they just have a very well-rounded team. And I'm not saying that Boston doesn't, and maybe if Boston gets their center back, this may change. But for right now, this is what I'm rolling with. So now we have the final 4 teams here. So we'll start over here. We'll do Phoenix and Memphis. I'm taking Phoenix to have a, potentially a back-to-back finals appearance. Now, Memphis is, like I said, Memphis is very good. But I just think that they're a little bit too inexperienced right now. I think that they do need another year, maybe 2 to develop. But I do see Memphis here in the finals in a very, very short amount of time. I think that this team has definitely made all the right moves so far. They have drafted a lot of great players, and especially like the role players, they've all contributed. But I am going to be taking Phoenix in 6 here. So then we have our last matchup here. We have Miami and Milwaukee. Now, this is going to be good. This is going to be so good. Miami and Milwaukee is going to be a great series if it ends up happening, of course. But truthfully, I'm taking excuse me, taking Milwaukee, and I'm taking them in 7. I think that this is going to be a very, very close series. Miami is obviously a great team. Milwaukee, obviously a great team, making it back to the finals once again. Now, so I really do like Milwaukee here. But, sorry, my dog is coming up to say hi. But anyway, so I do think that Milwaukee is a good team. I do think that Phoenix is a really good team. But I do think that Milwaukee ends up taking this one in 7. I think that with, there's no one to stop Giannis. Realistically, there's absolutely no one in the entire league that can stop Giannis. And I think that he is going to have a huge impact on the outcome of this series. So I do really like Milwaukee here. So I'm going to take them in 7. But if Miami won, I wouldn't be completely shocked. So now we have our finals matchup here. It's going to be a rematch of last year. I know that's so lame, but both these teams are just like the most well-rounded teams in the entire NBA. And obviously Phoenix has a very great team just in general. But Milwaukee also, they have Giannis. So it's like I don't know. Is it going to be like star power? Is it going to be like a better matchup thing? I just don't know. Like I said, I don't think there's anybody in the league that can stop Giannis. So I am going to be taking Milwaukee to run it back. We're going to take them in 6 games. Again, okay. I don't know why that happened. But anyway, so you guys saw it. So we're going to be taking Milwaukee. We're going to be taking Milwaukee in 6 games. I think that they are just the more complete team. They have the superstardom in Giannis, one of the best players in the entire NBA. They obviously have defense with Drew Holiday and some of their role players. They got Brook Lopez back, which I think is going to be a lot bigger of a impact than a lot of people think. So I really do like Milwaukee again this year. I think that they do run it back. Now, I will say, if Phoenix matches up with any other team in the Eastern Conference, if some other team makes the finals and Phoenix obviously does make it, I do think Phoenix wins. I think that this is just a horrible matchup for Phoenix because they have Giannis. But any other Eastern Conference team, I would be willing to change my opinion and say that Phoenix does end up winning. But unfortunately, I think that Milwaukee does get it back. So with that being said, I think that they are going to win it. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. Like I said, we're on the road to 7,000 subscribers, so make sure that you guys are subbed. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. This is King Center signing out. Peace.